global tech is now betting big on India. Amazon has now announced a $34 billion investment in India. It's going to take place by the year 2030. It's a big boost. It's going to advance AI innovation, create jobs in the country. And investment, in fact, if I have to give you a number, will create 1 million jobs. It's also going to boost exports. It's clearly a very big announcement coming from Amazon after Microsoft, Cognizant and Intel. Remember, this was a marathon of meetings that Prime Minister held with the tech CEOs yesterday. And after that, we also have a big announcement coming in today from the Amazon. It's a big push for India's tech future. In fact, Amazon has just announced $34 billion investment in India. It's going to take place by the year 2030. It's a big boost to advance AI innovation, create jobs in the country. And if I have to give you a number, it's going to create 1 million jobs. It's going to boost exports as well. So clearly, it's a big push for India's tech landscape. And it's a big announcement coming in from Amazon right after Microsoft, Cognizant and Intel. It's a big push for India's tech landscape, with Amazon now announcing a big announcement worth about $34 billion. It has also given a timeline. The investment is set to take place by the year 2030. It's a big push that's going to advance AI in the country. It's going to push innovation, create multiple job opportunities as well. All right, my colleague Karthik Malhotra, who tracks all this for us, is now joining on this. Karthik, clearly a good news for India's tech landscape. Amazon announcing a big investment plan, and right after Prime Minister Modi held a marathon meetings with the tech CEOs. How do you look at that, and also how it's going to benefit India?
Right. So, in fact, Jeff Bezos was not part of that meeting, and yet we are seeing this big development coming by way of Amazon committing to about $35 billion is what I read, and that's spread over the next 5 years. Now, remember, it's not an isolated event. The interest in AI globally is huge at the moment. Some critics also saying that this entire bet that big tech is making on AI could eventually turn out to be a bubble. But that notwithstanding, the kind of investment commitments in artificial intelligence by the big tech, popularly called the Magnificent Seven in the US, are huge. In fact, some estimates had suggested that OpenAI itself is looking at making as much as $7 trillion in investments in artificial intelligence over the next 5 years or so. But specifically for India, I think the next 5 years is what could define India's moment in artificial intelligence. While India continues to be a large user of AI, India is yet to become a creator of artificial intelligence, but all these investments coming, and if you look at it sequentially, the entire story started about 3 or 4 years back when Apple decided to double down on India to start making iPhones in India, when this entire narrative of a China plus one strategy was playing out in favor of India. So one would have argued at that point that Apple is a one-off exception simply because China under that lockdown is unable to deliver on the scale of iPhone production, and hence Apple looking at partners elsewhere, and India happens to be one of them. But that narrative completely changed this year when first you had Google making that $15 billion investment in WiseAct for data centers, which are getting created by Google. So that was a $15 billion investment announced a few months ago. Cut to that, just yesterday, you had Satya Nadella, who met Prime Minister Modi, committing to their largest ever investment in Asia, $17.5 billion. And now you add both these together, and Amazon comes and sort of, exceeds that number, committing $35 billion over the next 5 years. So I think one thing is clear. AI is the flavor of the year, and India is definitely the flavor of the season when it comes to AI investments. Everything from data centers that Google announced to cloud infrastructure, which was announced, by Microsoft, and now AI capabilities, cloud infrastructure being announced by Amazon. It means pretty clearly that India is where AI infrastructure, the cloud infrastructure and the data centers are going to be built, are going to be resident. And, I think one cannot deny the kind of job opportunities that will likely create. Amazon is saying that this new investment spread over the next 5 years is likely to create another million odd jobs. That's another 10 lakh jobs likely to be created for India. So obviously all this coming at a time when there is this momentum on AI globally, and India pretty much becoming the hotspot when it comes to preferred foreign direct FDI or foreign direct investment coming into the country.
Right, Karthik. In terms of impact, we are here looking at AI-driven digitization, export growth, as well as the job creation. You just gave us the number as well. But if because you mentioned that AI is the flavor of the moment, how would you describe right now the artificial intelligence infrastructure we have in India, and also how these investments are going to build up on that?
To be honest and to be fair, India itself is not big into its own AI infrastructure or AI-ready infrastructure. We don't have our own capabilities. For example, we don't produce any components that go into those data centers. We are a great enabler of the overall AI story, but I mean, it's a technology which has originated in the West. So at any point, if you're looking at mass adoption of any of those technologies which are there, which are being used, pretty much by every country in the world, then massive investments have to be made and diverse investments have to be made. So at a time when India's 1.4 billion people, a big percentage of those connected to the internet, in fact, India happens to be the largest market for ChatGPT, for example, as far as users and the user count goes, I think all this is absolutely significant, because where else would you rather place your data centers and where else would you rather place your cloud infrastructure? So the fact that that you will have at some point, data sovereignty, which the government has been trying to accelerate over the last few years, you will pretty much be able to safeguard that data sovereignty also, by these foreign companies coming and investing in building that entire pipeline of infrastructure, which is going to be absolutely vital, not just for using of information available out there, but also the processing of the information. So every time there is a query that you put, let's say, in a ChatGPT or any other AI tool, the fact that it is eventually going to be processed using those large GPUs in data centers before the result comes back to you, the fact that all of that is going to happen right here from India is obviously great, not just for India, but but for the world as well.
Right, Karthik. So that's the big story of the hour. Global tech betting big on India. Thank you, Karthik, for joining us and putting this story into perspective for our viewers.